Who wants to ride a sled with stock graphics? Not us. Use SledSend 4 for 20% off a discount on Arctic FX graphics. They'll bring your vision to life with hundreds of designs and endless customization options. Your sled will stand out whether you're on the trail or in the backcountry. So hit the link in the description and customize your wrap and use SledSend 4 for 20% off at checkout.
SledSend listeners, welcome back to the next episode of the SledSend podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, be sure to check out some of the links in the description. Got a stacked lineup of discounts in there for you guys. So if you guys are watching this, we are still at Heydays, but we're set up in a little bit different of a location. So it's pretty loud out there with the motocross and stuff. So we moved into the Zebros Logan Coach trailer.
Yep.
So yeah, a little different setup. And on this episode, we've got Kobe.
Yes, sir.
We've got Justin, and then we've got the owner of Tempest Optics. Sorry, Vince. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Cool. Appreciate you guys jumping on this episode. Thank you, Justin, for
thank you
teeing it up and introducing us.
Great to be
Absolutely.
Right on. Okay, so let's jump right in. So Tempest Optics and your goggles. What is it?
So the Tempest goggle is the latest attempt at a heated anti-fog goggle. Its primary purpose is to not fog up and to do it without compromising anything else that matters to goggle wearers. So we've got a fully integrated design. There's no battery pack, no cords to get snagged on anything. We've got an extraordinary battery life. People are talking about days on a charge, not hours on a charge.
That's crazy.
The lenses pop on and off with a magnetic attach mechanism that I think is probably as good as you'll find, and it will not come off accidentally. It positions the lens perfectly every time. It makes you feel really good that it's connected and you're good to go. The straps are removable with a thumbnail. There's nothing to it. You can pop them off easy, and those guards are replaceable. And it's got probably the most important feature. It is fully automatic. You don't have to memorize the manual or memorize modes of operation or concern yourself with that. It uses sensing.
Copy that.
To determine when to go into action. So you put the goggle on, that's it. The only thing we ask the rider to do is check that you've charged it up, that you've got some charge.
Is there like an indicator?
There is. On the
battery
side, there's a little LED display.
Okay.
We'll see that.
Yep.
But you can always tell 4-segment LED display.
Heck yeah. And it's got the little power button.
That's not even that. It's just to tell you.
Not even.
It's just to tell you what the battery life is.
So how does it, what are you pressing to see the battery life?
Oh, there's just a little rubber button.
Yeah, that button.
Yeah.
Copy.
I'm sorry. There is. It's not on off is all I meant to say.
Gotcha.
Goggles always
fully auto.
Always off unless it needs to come on.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And so
It'll
what's
last a year in your garage in the off season, and you won't notice you've lost anything when you come back in the new season.
Wow.
It also has a USB-C charging port. And it's really a fast charge because, it's still a bummer to have to charge anything, right? But at least we can make it.
Yeah,
fast.
and it's and it's
Really
compatible
fast.
with almost all iPhones, smartphones.
Yeah, any
Macs,
USB-C charger.
everything that everybody uses. GoPros.
Even the old chargers will work, but you just can't use those tiny little white Apple bricks. They don't have enough juice.
You gotta have
Everything else will work.
I charge these
including
in my
your
glove
car.
box.
in what?
In my glove box.
Oh, really?
The 7S. Yeah, when we were up in Albany,
Okay.
that's I wasn't swapping goggles. It was battery. I was just taking one out. I had
Yeah, your car
Full
ports,
bag.
your sled ports, your wall warts, they'll all work. And it's very fast. And in 30 minutes, you get to something like, or 45 minutes, you get to 75% full battery.
Oh, wow.
And if you were, let's say you were going to be in the car for 25 minutes on your way to the mountain or whatever.
On your way up.
If you forgot to charge and you plug in, you'll probably get through the day on that little bit of charge.
Yeah.
So that was the best we could do. You
Yep.
still have
Yeah.
to charge it, but we've made it fast. We've made it convenient.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the technology with the automation. Like, how does it, sense that what's going on to turn on and off?
Right. So really fogging happens when a person is sweating and they've built up this warm, moist air inside the goggle, and they're not moving. That's usually when it happens, right? If you're moving or the wind's blowing, you're probably fine. So the key is to use humidity and temperature as a part of that equation, to use those two things to figure out whether or not the conditions are ripe for fogging. That's the secret to it, really. And that's not a big secret, it's been done.
Yeah.
But getting that dialed in right, knowing how much heat to use, when to turn on, when to turn off, that's where things get a little bit trickier, and I think we've done a good job of that, so the goggle hangs onto its charge, doesn't waste, because that's really the key. If you're going to have a tiny little battery that fits inside the goggle, you can't afford to be wasting power.
Yeah.
So that's really sort of where the magic was. And then I think the fully automatic part of it is, again, it's just paying attention to the environment. Do you need to be operating or not? The minute the environment changes and you're good, like let's say you're getting on your sled and you're going down the road, the trail at, even 10 miles an hour, that might be enough to
Clear it up.
To clear it up, change the conditions, and then boom, shut down and continue
Saving
to
battery. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Efficient.
I didn't say it, but maybe it's obvious, but the whole mechanism here is that the lens itself warms up the entire surface of the inner lens. It's not a fan. There are no moving parts in this goggle.
And so without giving up your secret formula or whatever, I guess, how does it, are you able to tell us how it does that, or is that something you want to keep?
I can tell you. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I know, other guys have tried fans and whatever.
Fans have been tried. Most of the modern heated goggles attempts are done with the same tech, just that basic heating element, which is just a transparent piece of plastic that conducts electricity. So if you run electricity through the plastic, it naturally warms up.
Mm-hmm.
And by warming up, it doesn't water won't condense.
Right.
Sure. That's really at the fundamental bottom level of every heated goggle you've ever seen or heard of, other than the fan.
Gotcha.
And fans have downsides too. You have to listen to them, and the snow can block the the thing. And I was determined when I started this heated goggle stuff to do better than the fan. Find a way to do better than the fan.
10-4.
So yeah, that's what that's about. Yeah, and then basically what happens is the sensor senses the humidity, the electronics go into overdrive, driving electrical current from the rechargeable battery through this transparent film. It warms up, condensation doesn't happen.
Yep.
And you're good to go.
That's awesome.
So I'll be honest. So March, we were at Albany with you, right? And we were at your trailer, and you showed me those, and I had no idea. I mean, which is bad to say. I run a podcast in the sledding industry, and I wasn't aware that these were a thing. And I remember when you showed them to me, I was so blown away that those even existed with that type of technology. You don't have the battery pack. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I've never ran heated goggles. Like me neither. I never have. So I don't have anything, negative to say about other ones that I've tried or anything like that. But obviously being aware of them and then not having the battery pack, and then you said everything was like inside the frame, I was like, whoa, how does that even exist? So with that being said, like how did this idea or concept, like how did you even come up with, like, I think I want to try this. Like, how did that all come together? Yeah,
so I should give you a little bit of background. So there's a company called A-Bomb. A-Bomb was around or founded maybe 8 years ago, something like that. I was brought on A-Bomb in its very early formative days to design a no-fog goggle using this heated film approach. Nothing else was known about it, how we go about it, where it manufacture it, nothing.
Okay.
It started out as ignorant as can be. Yeah. And so A-Bomb was the first company to do a fully integrated goggle. And that's when I sort of honed my knowledge, so to speak, of how to pull this off, where you get into trouble, how do you manufacture it, so on and so forth. A-Bomb, for a bunch of different reasons, went out of business about, maybe it's 3 years ago now. And I had a new idea for what I thought was a better product. And so launched Tempest Optics with a business partner.
Okay.
So that's kind of how.
What year was that?
That was like 2 years ago that we did this. And last season was our first season on the market.
Okay.
So this will be our second season coming up now. And it was
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here at Heydays, and I'm standing here with Dayton from Albany Lodge, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what they have to offer.
Hey guys, so we're a certified Polaris Adventures outfitter located in Albany, Wyoming. We have 13 cabins and 9 hotel rooms. We offer a fleet of sleds in the winter for rent as well as in the summer of side-by-sides. If you guys are looking to do something a little bit different, we offer guiding, fishing guides, all of the above. At the end of the day, get dirty, get tired, stop in the bar and grab a drink, get bites to eat, have a good time.
Heck yeah, and be sure to use SledSend 4 for 15% off the lodging and their entire rental fleet, whether you're here for the winter to ride sleds or in the summer for side-by-side.
So you guys have been 2 seasons on the market, but how long like in development or research-ish?
I spent, well, that's a tricky question because I spent years refining this at A-Bomb. Yeah, so I was probably banging away on it at A-Bomb for 6 or so years. And then Tempest, I worked on it hard for about a year. And then it became really clear there were some breakthroughs, you know, for me, because I liked the A-Bomb product, but I thought, I mean, to be honest, I don't think it was quite the right product to build a company.
Wasn't what you were looking for.
You know, well, the problem is, you know, first off, you have to overcome a lot of objections. You got to have a product that's affordable, that's dead simple. You know, that was my mantra. This thing has to be, the average guy has to look at this and go, that's really not much different than the goggles I'm already using. And all they're asking me to do is charge it up. And by the way, it's not that much more expensive.
Sure.
And it really works. You know, it really solves the problem.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the mantra. And then once I had those aha moments, my business partner and I are like, you know, this feels really good.
Yeah.
Do we want to do this thing? And he was like, let's do this.
Let's act on it.
Yeah. So that's it. We dove in. And so we had our first season last year. And, you know, the feedback was fantastic. The sales were.
How many goggles did you guys put out last year?
But I can't say.
Okay.
That's guarded. But it exceeded my expectations.
Good.
Easily by 2x.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's when I started. And of course, it's a small company, so I see all of the correspondence via email and the critiques, the reviews, and everything. And it's just made me extremely excited about this season. I don't think we have any really Achilles heels that we need to worry about. This is about getting the word out. We have a product that works. It does what we set out to do at a price point that people, we hope, will be willing to stomach, you know.
Yep.
And let's see what happens. So, and then we have some new features too, and a new lens, which I'm holding in my hand. This new Infinity lens design, which I think gives it. Now the rider has a couple of aesthetic choices, and everyone wants to look cool, right?
Oh yeah.
And different people have different attitudes about it. So now we have, I think,
look good, ride good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You know how I roll.
Exactly. Come on, Kevin.
Yeah.
So speaking of like reviews and feedback, so did you get your hands on some at the start of last season and you used them all of last season?
Yeah. So we got some of they called me up and asked if I'd be ambassador. I rode the A-Bomb goggles forever.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. And so when they asked if I'd do it, I said yes. They sent me some and we started using them everywhere. And it went from a couple of us wearing them like on my snowmobile search and rescue team to where like the whole team wears them now.
Wow.
So, it like we went through different things with testing and stuff like that, and you know, was able to give our feedback to them, and they've pretty much taken it and built it the way it should have been. Like you said, you know, A-Bomb was more of like a ski goggle is what I felt like.
That,
where these feel like they were made for snowmobiling and
us.
stuff like that. Yeah, which is perfect. And, you know, and then I had them when we rode in Albany, and I was just telling Shay this. Like, you guys remember you guys were all drying your goggles off over the fire.
Was having
And I was just kind of like, but yeah, and like I was telling you, I have a pair in my glove box with the 7S, and I charge them. And that's all I did is on like a heavy day, I'd get like 6 to 8 hours on one charge, but I've gone weeks without charging it. So, you know, then that was a bad, wet, heavy day, and I didn't have any issues fogging the whole day. You know, we obviously hit I obviously hit lots of trees. So, but you know, so I've never had like an issue with you know, like cheap lenses or anything like that. It's a quality product priced right. So, you know, and I wouldn't bring it to, I wouldn't represent a company I didn't believe in.
Yeah.
And two, like you guys have heard me talk about them, you know, this whole trying to get these guys out here. Like it's a product you can like get behind. Just wearing my hat around heydays. Like I have people stopping me constantly like, when can we order new ones? When can we, you know? So, and that's awesome because everything's confirmed now. So when will they be able to start ordering them?
We're shooting for the 1st of November.
Okay.
I'll see that.
And I think
First
we're
of
going to make it.
November.
I think we're going to make it.
Cool.
Good.
So yeah, I'm excited. I haven't used the infinity lens yet, but this is one thing, like when we got together with them, like everybody was like, if we can get a frameless lens so the snow doesn't stick to it, which is also key to helping, you know, keep the fog away and stuff. So, but awesome product. I mean, I haven't talked to anybody that's used them that has anything bad to say about them.
Sweet.
So,
well, I feel pretty fortunate. I've got a case of them sitting right here next to me, so I really appreciate it, and I'm super stoked to test them out. I think it's honestly, the technology alone, it's pretty fascinating to have that kind of tech in some goggles. So I'm really looking forward.
I like how it's so compact.
yeah,
and the boy, I was gonna say, so I've never had any other heated goggles before, right? But I was gonna bring up the weight difference, right? So like having the battery pack on one side, it's, you know, it's not centered, whatever. And so like talk about the weight comparison to those versus this, because I picked it up and I was like, that's not very heavy at all. You would think with all that stuff in the frame that there'd be quite a bit of weight, and it's not.
The real key there, you know, the thing is electronics. If you think about electronic devices, they always have some heft to them.
Sure.
Battery pack.
Mm-hmm.
It's the battery. And the circuit boards too, believe it or not. A big circuit board loaded up with chips, you know, can actually have some weight. But this design is so lean, the battery is so small, and the circuit board is so miniaturized that you just are not gonna. I mean, I'll admit this will feel a little heavier than a passive goggle.
Sure.
But not enough to matter.
Yeah, no.
Right? Especially when you consider you got a helmet on your head, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, no, it's just not gonna matter. And I think the batteries in the competitive goggles historically have been anywhere from huge, you know, to a lot bigger than mine. So I think that's probably where the weight's coming from. And that's also why you have a box on the strap, because you can't, there's no room inside to fit a large battery.
Sure.
So I think if you put in the work, the sweat, you know, to tune it, tweak it, shaving every little millimeter of plastic out, making room for the battery and the electronics, you can get there. It's not easy, you know, and I think that's probably the novelty here of the fully self-contained product. And it pays off. You don't have this thing on the side. It's lighter weight, you know, less likely to get it snagged on anything. I think it actually looks a little cleaner. I'm not that big a fan of the
how many guys have you guys ridden with that have ripped that battery pack off?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Caden ripped his. I think. Pretty sure. But he also rips his suit and everything else that he has. But
he tears everything up.
Yeah, I mean that, and then you add like the magnetic to it. Like I was, this is what made me hesitant, because I've had these like HMKs and stuff. You know, people still wear them, but I knocked the lenses out when I'd hit branches. Dude, this magnet is like solid. I've never ever had an issue with that, and it locks in. When it's locked in, it's.
So is the heating running through the magnet side or the underside?
So that's what he was talking about. That's the actual lens that gets heated. So when they get them, don't scratch that little. That's not a sticker.
White thing.
So
don't mess with that.
Yeah, down here in the corner.
Okay.
So the pressure valve.
Copy that.
Yeah. But the heating element's built into the chassis, and one of the neat things about that is it allows the lens to be simpler, right? If every time you sold a second lens to somebody, it contained a heating element, the price of that thing is going to go up.
Sure.
So what I was striving for was, you know, if people enjoy different lenses, clear lenses for night, right? Mirrors for looking cool and sunny weather, you know, maybe photochromic if you're into that, rose and yellow for flat lighting, for example. So wouldn't it be great if you could buy a lens for $50, you know, instead of $150, right?
Right.
So that was a big part of the key here. Yeah. Just get people comfortable with the tech, and then make it affordable to have a quiver of lenses to try different things, different conditions, super quick swap out, you know.
Man.
Oh, yeah, right. I should mention that. So last year's model has a different style lens than that, which we are continuing this year.
Okay.
We think it looks cool in its own right. We think a lot of people might even prefer it. It'll depend, you know. I mean, that's a pretty good looking goggle.
Yeah,
so is the other one. And the key here is that both of our lenses will swap across last year's chassis, this year's chassis. It doesn't matter which model you buy. You can always swap lenses back and forth between last year, this year. Two styles doesn't make any difference at all. Same with the straps and the nose guard. Everything pops across. So
nice. Cool. And I forgot to mention that you're based out of Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So that's, we're Oregon boys too.
Oregon, stand up.
Yeah, that's right.
So
awesome.
A little bit on the snowmobile side, like where if you're in Portland, where do you go to ride?
So I am new to the snowmobiling thing. I went to Utah once this year.
With you?
With this past year.
He was up there.
Oh boy.
You come meet up with the SledSend boys.
little bit, but it was awesome. So I'm into it. I wish we had a little more, I wish there was something really close to Portland. Yeah. But I do ski in,
Bachelor's not too far away.
It's not terrible. It's about 3 hours, something like that. Yeah, I'll make a trip for sure. Yeah. So, and but we also sell to the ski market too. And so we've got Mount Hood right there, and that gives me a good ground for testing and whatnot, and backcountry skiers and even snowshoers, guys who work hard but don't have a lot of speed and motion. They actually make really good testers, right? Because it's kind of like you when you're digging your sled out. Right?
That's true.
It works out great. Great. In fact, one of my best testers is a skier. He's a sweat fogs up everything. And I figured if I can get him to never fog up, I'm good. Where I need to be. So. And then awesome. Justin and the other boys in the ambassadors group, I just feel like we've done diligence on this. I really do.
Heck yeah.
It's hard to find a complaint, to be honest. I'm not saying no one will ever fog. I can't really make a promise that sweeping, but I got to tell you, everyone's like,
we gave it. If we didn't like it, we brought it up and talked to him about it.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part. Is it just kept getting better.
Yeah.
Different programs that he was doing for different things and finding that sweet spot that, best battery life and usage at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I have one pair of goggles that I think we're 2 months from the ride, and it's still charged because I haven't been using it. It's just been in my trailer. So I got them out and
just been chilling.
And how many things you have that have that good of a battery life?
The secret, most electronics, they have this thing where they need to go to sleep when they're not in use, and when they're asleep, they need to consume as little power as possible. And this is amazingly good in that regard.
That's awesome.
You could probably sit there for 5 years in your garage without losing its charge, maybe longer.
That's impressive.
So, yeah.
Well, back to the riding thing. Would love to host you for a ride. So I have an Airbnb company, and I'll put you up in one of our houses for free. If you want to come over to Hermiston, for a ride. Obviously not riding in Hermiston, but we'd love to host you for a weekend or something and get on the snow with you. That'd be really
that'd be fantastic. Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah.
We'll do
Sick.
it.
Cool. Did you have any other?
What's been one of the hardest parts, I guess, your way into this goggle, I guess?
You mean
into this
in
one.
terms of the market or the product?
I was kind of asking a little broadly, but yeah, both. I get. Well, yeah, give me both. What's been the hardest about making the goggle, and then what's been the hardest marketing?
Yeah, the most challenging.
Finding your way.
Yeah. So I think for me,
hey, it's Robin Cook with Truck Boss Decks. Just wanted to show off our 8-foot Truck Boss. It's 100% aluminum, made in America. You never have to take it off in the summertime. A year-round use, dry and secure storage underneath.
Yeah, absolutely. And be sure to use SledSend 4 on the website for 5% off to upgrade your adventure with Truck Boss Decks.
The most challenging thing was I knew because I'd been with A-Bomb and we had a good product. It was liked, and yet still building a successful company around that was elusive, right? So to me, the key was, and I've sort of already touched on it, you got to be able to sell enough of them and at a profit, right? That's great enough to sustain a company.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you sell a lot of them? Make it simple, make it look good, take away all objections that anybody might have. Do your best to do that,
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
that's easy to scale from there.
Yeah, it's easy to say, I just gave you a philosophy. Okay, but now you got to do it.
Yeah.
So that's
lead a horse to water, but you can't always make it drink.
So basically, it took a while to have these breakthroughs. I sweat every design detail. I mean, trying to wean the cost out of it, trying to make it easy to manufacture, trying to make it reliable so you don't have a lot of field returns.
Yep.
All of that goes into your operating expenses and your cost of goods, right? So that was, for me, that was the big thing.
Copy that.
Lenses, after enough years, you've done lenses, you know how to deal with lenses, right?
Yeah.
Straps are straps, let's be real about it,
Yep.
And to some degree, plastic is plastic. So yeah, I think the thing was just kind of going, all right, I know what the mission is. How do I pull this all together in a product that I can sell for a couple $100?
Yep.
That does the job better than anything that came before it, or better than I was able to do, I should say. I really needed to do better than I had done before.
Right.
So that was the big challenge there. The marketing side of it, the thing that I love about the sledding community is it is a community.
Yeah.
There is no question about it. It's a North American community. Tight knit. And what that means is that you don't have, if you just get some good videos out there, you do, some good interviews, you build a decent social media campaign, you're going to get, and you've got a good product. If you don't have a good product, none of this matters.
Yeah, right.
But if you've got a good product, it's just amazing how word of mouth works. It's magic. We brought Ryan Thompson on board, our marketing guru, and he's helped us navigate the social media and the sledding community and the industry, including running our ambassador program. And, next thing I know, we're selling a lot of product. I mean, it was shocking. I was just so thrilled by it, and now I just can't wait for this season.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys are providing a solution, a very important solution for something that sledders deal with.
Yep.
That's key.
Well, they've thought of everything beyond the goggle too. Like they have a new hard case for the lenses. So like if rather than carrying multiple goggles, now you can throw that hard case into your bag with an extra set of lenses, so you can have like I will usually throw like a clear in. So that's the old lens. But I usually throw like a clear and like a yellow in. So if I have to ride out at night, I have a clear. So but yeah, so that's the old lens with the frame around it. But yeah, so you have that, and that's one of their new things. And then they also have their inserts for prescriptions that go into them. So people that want to ride with them and have completely fog free, even with their glasses on, they have that
is
too.
Killer. The prescription thing.
Yeah, we
a lot of
actually
people struggle with
with
that.
Sport RX to do that, and they designed an insert that worked for us and pop right in the goggle. And some guys are putting them in between the outer lens and the inner lens, so they stay totally dry.
Yeah.
So which is a neat option if it works for you, if the optics work for you.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, no, it's good. I mean, we're trying to be a complete. We want everything a person would normally expect and need at a price that's within reach.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Because really, I mean, you really want to sell a certain number of anything, and right, you really need to. You got to get over that hump, right? So right now, it's getting the word out, getting people to give it a try. I mean, particularly the home run is all those guys out there who have never tried a heated lens goggle. I really hope they try this goggle.
They just
then decide it's not for you, but not until you've tried one of these.
Yes. Well, you guys heard the man, so the website's in the description. Check it out.
You got to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So was there what? Yeah.
Bring them on out.
This is the prescription lens approach that has been taken. There are two ways to use a prescription insert, and one of them is to literally stick it in between the outer and inner lens, and that'll prevent it from fogging up. Sometimes the inserts themselves are the things that fog,
right?
Not the goggle.
Yeah.
So,
man.
So yeah, they just order those, whatever their prescription is, pop it in there.
Wow.
And we're trying to get your, the glasses into your helmet without hurting your head. And
boy, I would think that alone, that's, very intelligent to do it like that. Huh. Cool. How are we doing on time? Okay. All right, cool. Was there any last minute things that you wanted to mention?
I was just going to say, like he said, if you have the opportunity to try them, if you got a buddy that has them, let him use them. ask them if you can use them.
Mhm.
Everybody I've let try, like I showed you, I have a bunch of pairs in my trailer, and that's what I've been doing is, hey, throw these on today. Let's go.
Well, I'm kind of afraid to do that with the SledSend boys and share mine because I might not get them back.
Yeah. But
no, I'm probably just gonna invest in a pair just because I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, how much are we spending on other goggles that still
Exactly.
fog?
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
But I have like 15
I
pairs.
was gonna say I'm gonna go buy another goggle and then I'm gonna buy 3 lenses with it because I just sit there and pop lenses.
Well, that's
Is what I do.
That's back to you guys are providing a solution to an issue, right? And so it just makes sense to pay accordingly to provide the solution for
Facts
that.
on
So
that.
It makes sense.
It is. I'd be very cool. I ride with the SledSend guys most of the time, but I also have this other group that I ride with, and we call it the clown crew, and it's like 30 plus people when we go. It's all mountain. It's women, children, grandmas, grandpas, but they're all very like heated goggle, heated glove, but you know what I mean? They're all still. Kid comes back, grabs grandma's heated goggles, throws those ones on and goes out and fogs them up, comes back, grabs grandpa's heated goggles, and it's just like
there was that one
at the end of the day
2 years ago in Sumter, there was 45 of you.
Yeah.
I didn't go on that trip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we packed 45 people, dude, and
but I tell you what, lunchtime is
pretty
great,
great, but
with that many people.
It's like me and one of my other couple, like me and another 2 or 3 guys, it's very stressful. Very stressful. It's not that safe to take that many people in the mountains, really. It's kind of hard to keep track.
Well, it's pretty.
I mean, it's not like we're going mountain riding. We're just going like out to a prairie and then down some trails and stuff. But it's like
sometimes that's worse than like the mountain riding.
One wrong left turn, then you're like, this guy's like, whatever down that. Anyhow,
I'd rather get someone unstuck on a hill than in a flat. So
I could see them. I could see them going crazy over something like this because they're all so huge on we want heated goggles. Well, they're, now, okay, get the heated goggles. Well, now I can't see nothing because my glasses, I got to put my prescription. So then they're trying to put glasses underneath their goggle, big old battery pack they got to deal with, and their gloves are heated. And you know what I mean? I just see like them using something like this and throwing it on and it just being the fix to 3 massive problems that just ruins their day, when you snowmobile.
And that we're getting feedback just like that, basically from the consumers. And I think you're right. It solves a real problem. It's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's not a fad. It's
like one thing when your fingers get cold. Okay, they're cold. Or my hand warmer stopped working. Okay, my hand's gonna be cold for the day. That is what it is. You fog up. Oh, okay, I gotta stop.
Everything stops.
Yeah, you stop and see you.
Yeah, total buzzkill.
Yep, and then you gotta break the seal, start all over again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Real problem. I wish the ski community had as big a problem.
That's okay though. If that's okay, they have their own problems.
Yeah,
they can't go uphill.
Yeah. Well, cool. We'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. Was there any last minute things maybe you forgot to touch on?
No,
or
I don't think so.
Want to mention?
Like I say, you're going to be able to test them. So,
he's saying the social media stuff. Yeah, you can mention those, but we'll put everything. We'll link it all in the description for sure.
TempestOptics.com is the website. Hashtag Tempest Optics.
What all social media you guys on?
Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
Okay,
good.
Yeah.
And website just TempestOptics.com.
Yep.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, we will link everything in the description, so check them out for sure. Okay, so at the end of every episode, we have our guest ask the audience, the listeners and the viewers, a question. And then we'll cut it and we'll use it for TikTok and Instagram Reels, and everybody can give us their opinions and stuff.
I get to ask the audience their opinion?
Putting you on the spot. So is there something that you would like to ask the audience? Something very specific or broad? It can be whatever you think that will provide feedback for you.
I'd love to have some sense for what percentage of the snowmobiling community has tried a heated goggle.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's a really good question. Let us know in the comments below.
People will like that one.
Yep. Well, cool. It was really good to meet you. I appreciate you jumping on.
Great to meet you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, this is great.
Justin, thank you for teeing it up.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. It's good to have you on another episode too.
Always.
And the knowledge. I'm excited to see. This is like another piece of snowmobile technology, and snowmobiling technology is just every year
I know my wife.
Every
Like, I've
year.
got like all my Oxbow stuff lined up, like on the all charged, and then my goggles. And my wife's like, really?
And then your Avi pack, and what else can you charge?
I'm like, wait until like Polaris makes it so I can tune my sled via Bluetooth. Like,
Yeah, like Easy Link.
like the Yamahas.
Uh-huh.
Yamahas that have that Bluetooth, like,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, cool. Good stuff. Again, I appreciate you guys. SledSend listeners, thank you guys for tuning in on this episode. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, I said it at the beginning. Yeah. Nope, I did. I said it.
You
We'll
guys,
shout it out again.
guys-
Zebros,
you guys
thanks for the
must-
trailer, brothers.
Logan Coach.
you guys must know some like cool people to get.
We do. You know what? We do.
Shout out
We
to
do
me.
know cool people.
Awesome. Well, SledSend listeners, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.